Okay, so I've always known that I was trans. When I was little, like I always knew I was a boy. Growing up, I was like super, 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 super masculine. I loved Buzz Lightyear, Superman. I was obsessed with Toy Story, everything like that. I always did what my dad wanted to do. Ever since I was little, always had really, really, really short hair. Never wanted to do anything girly or wear dresses or anything, even though I was forced to. I always hated stuff like that, and I was always really uncomfortable with myself and with my body in specific. And then in high school, I think it became really apparent to me that I was different. I didn't know what. I knew that I liked girls, but I didn't feel that I was gay. And I wasn't sure why. Like, I hated saying I was gay because, not because I had anything against gay people, but because I just didn't feel like what I felt was being attracted to someone of the same sex, I guess. I guess that's the best way to describe it. I saw myself as a man, and I was attracted to women, therefore I'm not gay. And so that was really confusing for me, and it was really hard for me to come out as gay, which is what I did in high school. And then I started dressing the way I wanted to dress, like really masculine, and I became a little more comfortable with myself and how I wanted to present myself, but I was still very uncomfortable with my body and the way that I looked at my clothes and things like that. And I was just very uncomfortable. I felt very feminine, and I felt like as masculine as I could be. I wasn't masculine enough. And then my freshman year in college, I started figuring things out and realizing that I was really, really unhappy with myself. I went through a really hard time in high school where I was just really, 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 really depressed. I didn't really know why. And I had a lot of really horrible experiences and a lot of really horrible times. And I didn't know why I was really struggling that much. I didn't know why I was so unhappy with myself and so uncomfortable with myself. And then in my first semester in college, I started kind of learning about the trans community, and I was just like really interested. I was really like, wow, this is weird. I kind of feel like I might relate to this, or like maybe this is how I feel, and I started to like push it away really fast, and I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, that would never, ever, ever, ever be accepted. I saw it as something completely taboo. I thought that everyone would hate me if I said that I thought I was trans, or even just discussed it at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought that it was wrong. I was always taught that everything, that was out of the norm was wrong. Even, me being attracted to women was wrong in my household. So I tried to push it away because I was scared, and I thought that no one would accept it. And then my second semester in college, I started slightly discussing it, at least the fact that I was questioning my gender with a couple people, in specific, the girl that I started dating and became very, very serious with. She and I had this conversation on our third date, and she asked me, have you ever considered the fact that you might be trans? And I was like, crap. You know me already. And I thought, well, I haven't asked her to be my girlfriend yet, so now's the time to tell her, because if she's going to leave, she needs to leave now. So I told her, and she was really accepting of it. Ironically, she had just educated herself on the trans community like that summer. She'd like become really interested in the YouTube community and started looking at stuff and researching stuff just because she was interested in it. Little do we know, she was going to be my biggest supporter and my first supporter. And she helped me start getting going with my transition and really accepting myself, and really helped with all of that. She was the first person to ever use any masculine pronouns or anything with me. She called me, the first time that anything clicked or anything, we tried anything, she called me handsome, and I was just like, oh my god, like, that's it. Like, I never felt so comfortable someone referring to me, and it was really nice, and I knew that that was how I felt, and that was who I am, and that it fit with me, with how I identified. So from then, she found a support group in St. Pete, and we started attending the support group, where I got really educated and I met a lot of guys like me, and a lot of guys like me. And it was really nice to know that I wasn't alone and that it makes sense and that it's common. It's actually a lot more common than anybody thinks. And it was really nice to have people help me with steps, on how to do this, and this, steps that I had to take in order to, get my name changed and things like that. We picked a name, and actually we were standing in line for the Harry Potter ride at Harry Potter Park, and we were looking up names, and I always really identified with the name Lucas. I don't know why, I loved the name Lucas and Luke, and I was like, well, would I want to go Luke or would I go Lucas? No, I want to go Lucas, and I want to be called Luke, and I loved the name Aiden. But I felt like Aiden was really young. I don't know, I know a lot of babies named Aiden, so for me, it felt really young. So I decided to try out a couple things. I had a couple names picked out, and the number one was always Lucas Aiden. And so I started going by Lucas Aiden and Lucas and just seeing how it felt. And my friends started calling me Luke and all this stuff, and it fit. That was it. I didn't question it once. I didn't say, oh, maybe I should pick another name. I knew that was my name. That was how I felt, that I identified. That was the name that I was going to change my name to, and that was it. So that was really cool to feel. It was the first time I guess I really felt who I was, and when people started referring to me with male pronouns and my name and stuff like that, it all really fit and it really made sense to me. And then I came out to a lot of my friends that summer. I started seeing a gender therapist in July. He was actually the leader of my support group, and he's trans himself. And so I started seeing him in July. And then in September I came out to my family, and that just blew all up, and it was just a big, oh my goodness, can't even explain to you. My older sister, absolutely hates me. She and I never had a strong relationship before. She's always had an issue with pretty much everything I do in my life. She never agrees with who I am. She always wanted me to be super feminine and all of these things that I'm not, and because I don't live my life the way she wants me to live it, she's very unhappy with me. And so her and I have no relationship, right? We do not talk. When I see her, she calls me female pronouns, my birth name, my actual birth name, always. Makes a point to do it, especially in public, and it's really hard for me. So we don't talk, and my brother-in-law is even worse. My parents, it's debatable where they're at. Sometimes I think that they're trying, but we have not taken, which I would consider the first step, to even call me by my name or my correct pronouns. And it's been almost 2 years. So patience is key. But my family is really important to me, and everybody always asks, oh, why would you keep your family in your life if they don't support you? Well, they're my family. I'm not gonna up and leave my family. They didn't leave me. They're still here. They're trying, and it's hard. I mean, for 19 years, they knew me as this person, and they had these plans for my life. That's what parents do. They plan for your life and for their children and what they want you to be and the things they want you to do, and they want you to succeed. And when it changes, it's really confusing for them, because for 19 years they've seen you this way. Even if for 19 years you haven't seen yourself this way, you just dropped this bomb on them very, very suddenly. And so it took a long time for me to realize that it's going to take time, because I thought that they just didn't want to accept it, and they just weren't trying, and they just weren't going to accept me. I don't think that's the case. I think that it's going to take a long time to show that they're trying, but I think that they are trying, because if they weren't, they wouldn't be around. They wouldn't even acknowledge certain things. I started hormones on December 15th, 2011. So I've been on hormones for about a year and 4 months now, I believe. That was, when I started hormones, my voice dropped like really quickly. Like my voice was super, super, super high. And it dropped very quickly, and I developed like an Adam's apple. I'm just now getting facial hair. I'm a little slow on that. But things like that, my therapist always says like I reacted to testosterone like really, really well, and she's like really surprised by how well my body has adjusted to it, and I guess how male I look. And then in August 2012, this past August, I had top surgery with Dr. Garamoni, and that was the best day of my life. I got my name changed on March 26th, 2012. Sorry, so a year ago, just a little bit over a year ago, I got my name changed. I changed my name to Lucas Aiden. So then I had top surgery in August, and that was awesome. Took a 4-hour trip down to Sunrise, Florida, and that was a great experience. It was a great 2 days or whatever. And after that, now I'm just, I haven't had any other surgeries. I'm working on, after you have surgery, like you can't work out for like 6 weeks or something like that. And then I started working out like shortly after that, and I got really busy and I didn't have time. And so now I'm like working on like working out and getting back into like how I see myself, because I still don't really, I fit how I see myself, but I still have tiny issues with myself that, you know, it's hard to change because it's things you have to work on. But I'm so much more confident than I was before. I had zero confidence before, zero. And now like I'll find myself like talking to people or like talking to girls, and it's weird because I never did that before. I'm out to like everyone. A lot of my dad's family has really accepted me. Our distant family on my dad's side. My mom's side of the family is a struggle. I'll have to see them this summer, and I had to see them in October, and that wasn't good. But I think that that's going to change. Everything else, my friends that have stayed, or even the friends that maybe had issues with it at first, I feel like they understand now. They see me. If they really did know me, they knew that I was so unhappy and that I was not myself. And now seeing me as myself, they really get it, and they're like, "Oh, this makes sense because he was so unhappy before, and like this must really mean that this must really be, or it makes sense to them, because then they're like, well, he's happy, so clearly that's the reason he was unhappy, because he was uncomfortable with himself and things like that. So the people who needed to adjust, I feel like, have adjusted. I find it really important to educate. I talk to a lot of people about my transition. I talk to a lot of people about the fact that I'm trans. I tell a lot of people that I'm trans, because I feel like for other guys like me and people who need educated and things like that, people who need help, it's important that my community doesn't disappear. A lot of people don't know about the trans community because they're there and then they disappear. They go through their transition, they live stealth. A lot of guys live stealth after they transition because it's pretty easy for a female to male to pass. It's easier. We have it easier. And so they kind of go stealth, and they don't talk about it, they don't tell anyone. Certain people know, a lot of people don't. And then they're just living in this world, and everyone just sees them as they are, and they don't use it to educate other people. And I think that that's really sad, because I feel like I went through this to help other guys like me and to educate the world, because a lot of people don't even know what it means to be trans and don't understand my community at all. And there's a lot more. The community's a lot bigger than people think it is. So I take it and I use it to my advantage, and I educate everyone that I can. And that's why I talk about it so much. And yeah, so I hope that you all learned something from it.